Okay, we've seen fanning the window. Now we're going to do squeegee techniques, straight pull. Okay? If you get a window that is in the sun or just keeps streaking for some reason and you can't seem to get the right angle, then you could straight pull the window. So you want to rag the top and the sides, make sure the squeegee is dry, start it at the top, get in that crack, and just go straight down. Keep the squeegee at a 45-degree angle. Okay, now I'm going to dry it off. Start up here. Now this is important because I've created a border between dry glass and wet glass. Right on the border, this is where your streak will happen. Your streak will happen for two reasons. One, this border is going to dry. Okay, and when it dries and I go down, it's going to have a dry streak. Okay, so if for some reason you delay, you're going to want to wet that corner, make sure it's completely wet, and then you're going to do your next straight pull. Okay, the next thing on straight pull, I have a little bit of left over here, so I'm going to get a smaller channel, maybe my 8 or my 6. I'm going to want to wet the window, so it's going to need to go to here. I only want an inch of dry squeegee on a window. Okay, so I'm going to re-wet it here, and I'm going to straight pull it down. Okay, so here's some tips on your straight pull. When you're straight pulling down, you're going to want to, there's going to be a little bit of wet on top because of your first pull, okay? So if I stick this squeegee straight up here and pull it down, you're going to see a streak happening right there because I'm pulling wet, like I'm pulling water down on that side of the window, okay? So if I were to straight pull this over again, I'd pull that down. Okay, and you want to dry off the squeegee, at least on this side. So the right side of the squeegee will go up on wet glass. The left side, you do not want to stick this part of the rubber on wet window. You want to stick it on dry window. Okay, so same straight pull as before. Very importantly, dry rubber on dry window, and then you'll pull it straight down. Now there will be no streak if it was nice and wet on this side. Then you'll just have to rag the top a little bit. The good thing about fanning a window is you get to rag as you go. You cut the whole frame and then you're done. You don't have to go back and rag the window. So this video will be a little redundant. I'm going to do it again, okay? I'm going to wash the whole sides. Then I'm going to put my mop back away. And as usual, I have my trash towel and a squeegee. So I can keep the squeegee from being overly wet. I'm going to cut the sides. And the reason I cut those is because now the top is fairly dry and I'm going to have less water pulling down up there, okay? Now the reason I dried the sides first, I pre-ragged them, is because now I have very, very little to detail, okay? If any. So now I'm on this side, you can see I'm all the way to the edge. I'm going to start almost at the top. I'm going to pull this down. Okay, then I have barely any detailing up top, okay? If any. So if you're just starting out and the fan motion is just, you're not quite thorough at it yet, you need to practice this, and before you're at your first house, you really need to have this down, okay? You don't want to be straight pulling windows, whether it's up or down or left to right, and have streaks and stuff coming down, okay? That's how most janitors do it at restaurants and stuff. You always see these straight pull marks coming down. So again, wash the whole window, rag the edges really good, make sure your squeegee's dry, tuck it up, pull it down, lock it to the bottom, dry your squeegee again, straight pull it down. Okay, so now let's say I'm straight pulling this side and I'm leaving streaks. The reason I'm leaving streaks is because one, I'm not overlapping that wet spot 1 inch, or two, my squeegee is aimed up. So when you pull down, water is going to want to run up the channel. If you go slow, water is going to run down the channel. If you go fast, water is going to run up the channel. So when you do a down pull, you want to have the dry side aimed down, and you want the water to run up the squeegee. And you want to move at a fast enough rate to where you'll leave no streak mark, okay? So let's do left to right. Everything's the same. Rag the window, and you're going to go left to right or right to left, whichever is easier. Pull it, lock it. Okay, get the dry piece of squeegee on dry glass. In this case, I can pull it almost all the way back because it's dry. Have the dry part of the squeegee aimed forward. Aim the top a little bit forward. Okay, now I have a little bit left over. So I'm going to put it almost 12 inches high. I'm going to left to right. Get the last piece there. Now I just have some detailing to do on the bottom and around the edges. So just to recap, wash the whole window, detail the sides, dry the squeegee. After your first pull, dry it again. Get dry squeegee on dry window. Pull it down again. Remember, when you angle your squeegee, water's going to want to run up the channel when you're going top to bottom. When you're going left to right, water's going to want to run down the channel unless you have it tilted backwards, in which case it'll run up the channel. So you want to keep the channel aimed forward, get to the end, and lock it. So whether you're fanning a window, whether you're straight pulling it, the glass should look perfect at the end. You should still go through all your pre-washing steps, your pre-brushing, and you should still at the end check all 4 sides against the sky, check for any marks. The only thing different between straight pulling and fanning is the actual squeegeeing itself to get every bit of water off the window.